why I am not excited for this future DC Slate. Next up on Just to Talk So, let's talk about it. And welcome to the Flicks, Picks, and the Nitpicks. And I am your humble host, Nove718. We're going to get right into it because I am not excited for this new DCE universe that's going to come out. I hear it's called Chapter 1, and as it stands right now, because when I get off this, I'm going to consume all information on it and give you my final net. But I am not excited, and this is why I could hold off. I'm going to jump right back into the world of things and listen to my other YouTube channels, read comments so I could gauge the energy, so I could give you my perspectives on. That's what I do on Just to Talk. So when I jump into the conversation, I at least can bring my personal insight to the talk of the town, because I like to peruse the movie industry environments and movie punditry, and I have a lot to say on the commentary that I get, as well as information that I get from the direct sources, and I can present to you my perspective, which I try to be as basically right down the middle as possible. But I also like to be honest when I'm telling you what I personally feel. But it's also my personal perspective on what's out there. So what is out there? I am not excited. That's what's out there. I'm not. And it's the reason why I could pull back from looking up the information from, because it got to be uneventful, unsavory, if you will. Some of the beefs or arguments that spun out of it, but more importantly, it's hard to get attached to characters that, as unfortunate as it sounds, it just, when you're promising for so much more with these characters, you want them to be, you want your audience to be invested in them. And in the climate where that's now the what you expect. Even though I can enjoy this movie knowing that there's not going to be nothing else after this. I could do that in a vacuum. But this is how people are gauging films now, based on what's to come. And if you're not giving them what's to come and letting them know that you're going to get rid of it, you're kind of self-sabotaging the film. You got to give people something to be excited for with what they're bringing out, coming out soon enough. Although I do understand, in a lot of the ways, respect how James Gunn is handling this. Initially, people felt away. They felt like he will strip all the pundits. And I listen to a lot of pundits. I heard the fear. You feared that he would kill the avenues in which you get most of your scoops from. If he starts deadening it way in advance and putting to bed, or even he's the guy you can get your information from, you're no longer the premier scooper. And now you have to really provide content outside of being the first to scoop it, which a lot of these punditry, I think, have the skill and the wherewithal to do so, because you also speculate on it. But I also understand the value in which, when they have nobody giving you the definitive information and they shut down all your scoops, it makes you look invalidated. But at the end of the game, you're going to have to up the nature of what the scoop game is. And I felt that people upped it by being antagonistic towards the studios, which creates more infighting and all these splinters and fandoms. And you don't even get to talk about the movies no more. The movies don't even be interesting no more. They start getting wrapped up in the social, political politics of what everybody else wants to argue about and never even have an answer for anyway. So what are we doing? So for me, I felt like what I just got bored with it. And if you can't have fun with what you're doing and enjoying it, then it starts to be able to, I think the audience can tell. Either that, or when you're really just out here chasing a buck and you're hustling and you're not really pouring into a well-researched show, or at least a clear and thought out way of speaking, so that you can communicate to your audience directly where you're coming from. And at the same time, I think a lot of them are, and they're kind of like exposing their hand in a way. And What I don't say that with malice. I say that with, yo, we all want this to be a business. I remember being, at least when I was a little bit more into the vibe of things on my come up, I remember having to say in one of the comments sections in the stream that, yo, not for nothing, everybody wants, because people say, oh, people doing this for money. Well, let's be for real, everybody's here for money. I mean, we can't talk bullshit. Everybody is legitimately here for money. If that's going to be the end result, because you want to, even though you might love what you're doing, you want to build a business out of it. You want to do this 24/7, so you need to turn this into a business. Then everybody's trying to get some coins off of this. So let's not fake the funks. The question is what kind of principle do you build your business on? Me, I wanted to build my business, if you will, when it comes to the flicks, picks, and the nitpicks, off of the love of film and fandom, and also the artistry of films, and even behind the scenes, the interest in the artistry of how to navigate a business and make business decisions, or at least understand business decisions built on the way the business is structured today. And unfortunately, business is also structured around social issues and politics and all the rest of it. So now we have to address all these several different things while trying to provide content for the channel. And again, a lot of people felt that James Gunn just shutting things down was going to kill the scoop industry when it came to what's going on with the WB. So the only thing you can do is to come at James Gunn, which is kind of hard to do when he is the guy. So there's no buffer. He's the guy. I'm not going through a spokesperson. I tweeted it out myself what I'm going to do. And if he's a guy that stares on what he says, then it just shoots everything these scoopers want to ever scoop on out the water, confirm or deny. So you're gonna have to readjust the brand of the business when you approach talking about WB stuff, and you can't surf the audience and for traffic to your channel by spreading unnecessary speculation and lining it up so close to something that you almost think, based on what you're saying, that is going to happen, when there's no real verification that can happen, even if this came from a quality scooper person. It just starts to become difficult to kind of run your business like that if you could get James Gunn to validate or invalidate it with just one quick tweet. So what else you going to do? You're going to have to go at him. And people, again, I just think they didn't know no other strategy to exercise. And again, I can say all of this, and we haven't even got to talk about the films. And again, for me, I wanted to see this universe go on. I'm not interested in seeing no other Batman. We already have Robert Pattinson. I like him. You know, I'm not overly impressed, but I like him. So fair enough. I'm interested in what they'll do the next go out, but I'm not that excited even in Matt Reeves' universe. I'm not that excited. I need another film to hype me up, but outside of me just loving comic book movies and going to see it just because it's a comic book movie. Like Marvel, I can honestly say can hype me up for the next go out. Speculation and whatever otherwise, but WB not so much because of where we are. So for me, until they put a trailer out, the speculation of WB I'm just not interested in. And plus, especially when we've been speculating for so long about these two other options, and now that WB has been bought by Zaslav and Discovery, and that was something else, and they're restructuring it as they should. It's like now we're getting a brand new thing. And it just almost seemed like we were getting close to going back to what Zack Snyder had already started. And then we're back here at square one again. And it's just like the roller coaster ride just strips the enthusiasm away from me. You know, I got no malice towards James Gunn either, because I would want to be able to do my own thing. Zack Snyder wanted to do his own thing. I and still am more interested in what Zack Snyder had to provide. And of course with some proper oversight, because I did want, even if Zack Snyder was to walk away, that in good hands they could carry on the story that he set up, because I just enjoyed that world that he was developing. Unfortunately, I guess that's a dub. You know, but we'll talk a lot more on that down the line as well. But yeah, just started losing interest, man, and I just really wanted to see some good quality storytelling from comic book characters that I just have a great interest in. And even some that I didn't, I would like to see them make me interested in picking up a book on them. You know, I like to see someone that is interested in these characters say, let me pull all the things about this character that you probably did not know existed in the book, but this is the character. This is the character I want you to see, and I'm going to present him to you. And you'll find him fascinating enough that you'll want to get to know him more and pick up the book. That's what I want to see from these films. I felt like Zack Snyder had it, unfortunately. Not everybody felt the same way. I am having to deal with that. But unfortunately, I get that we need to start something all over again, but it's just, I got bored with it. We speculated on so many other possibilities that could have happened that the speculating on this universe isn't interesting. I'd probably be more interested in the Matt Reeves universe than whatever in terms of hype, and I'm not even that hyped about that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see this broader. I was really interested to see what they could do with this broader universe, and they've been fucking up the good that they had already with me. But I have no real interest as it stands right now in what he's calling Chapter 1. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm hoping to, because, like I said the other day, I love comic book movies. And it's a shame that I can't, my universe didn't keep on going the way I wanted it to. But at least I got the Zack Snyder Justice League, which I think was a feat unto itself. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won't be able to, it wouldn't surprise me if even if it's good, it's not going to be as successful, because people are no longer interested in what WB has to provide right now. That's what the energy I'm feeling. It's going to be I think it's going to be a longer way up. And if it's going to be a longer way up, then. But the Flash will tell us if the Flash is real good, the next hill is if you change everything out again, people might not be interested in all these brand new characters that at the end of the day, the Flash is from another universe with the characters that they were invested in, love them or not. So it'll be hard to know, even though you might want to change everything up at the end, you may lose a lot of people that were already on the ride. And I don't know if it was bankable that you can pick up more along the way so soon if you're going to try to reboot. Otherwise, you should have just left it for 10 years and come back in 10 years. Or at least 5. If you're going to shoot something out immediately after this, I just don't see WB booming like that. It's going to be a longer stroll up. It'll be successful as long as they manage their budget. But I don't think it'll go the strides that these DC properties would have if you could have found someone to fix what they had already with all the great actors that they had. But at the same time, again, I'm not knocking wiping the slate clean. I just don't know if this is the direction you want to go so soon afterwards, especially when you got other movies that are set to come out that will have to fit in this new world that you're about to come with anyway, so there'll be no breakage. So even by the time you drop the newest Superman movie, even though Superman's been far removed, you still had it attached to the universe that still was not that far off, because Flash is coming out this year, and whether you want to believe it or not, that's still part of the Snyderverse, or it's tethered to it, if you will, for lack of a better word to use. You dig? But let me know in the comments below. Are you guys excited about Chapter 1? I'm gonna go into finding out what this is gonna entail. Again, I'm not that excited, but I am outside of interested. You know, not just for the channel, but just interesting. I'm just not as excited to jump right into it so soon, because it was like, if it ain't one thing, it's another. And it was more because of the atmosphere around it than anything, truth be told. But at the same time, round and round we go. So here we go again. But leave it in the comments below and we can chop it up down there. You already know what it is. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time. And as always, side of the outro. Chill.